Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Out of the Box International podcast series. I'm your host, Enrique Martos, and today we are diving into a remarkable initiative. I would love to share with you an example of good practice that is making a significant impact on social cohesion. I present to you the project Slusik Service Learning Upscaling Social Inclusion for Kids. At its core, the Slusik Project is on a mission to promote and support social inclusion by empowering high school students with essential social and civic competencies. The target group is students between 12 and 16 years old, and the project involves a wide range of stakeholders including schools, teachers, higher education institutions, policymakers, and civil society organizations. The main goal is clear: to enhance the acquisition of social and civic competencies among secondary school students, fostering knowledge, understanding, and ownership of values and fundamental rights. The ultimate aim is to contribute to the social inclusion in society as a whole. The service learning employs non-formal learning methodologies such as experimental learning and role play, both in classrooms and within NGOs in the community. This method introduces students to roles in civil society such as volunteering, funding mechanisms, and community engagement in problem solving. It serves as a platform for reflection, guided by trained professionals on the values of service learning, its current trends, and future opportunities and threats. To go deeper in the project implementation anecdotes and outcomes, we have a special guest here with us today, an expert who worked in the Slusik project. I'm thrilled to introduce Auguste Taruškaitė, who will guide us through this innovative initiative. Auguste,
Hi.
welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Could you please start by telling our listeners a bit about yourself and your role in the Slusik project?
All right, so I'm a project coordinator involved on the development side for Out of the Box International. I was involved with the project until very beginning. So I was part of the writing team, and then I was part of the project coordination team, finishing with the project reporting. So all throughout, I was there.
From the very first beginning
The
until the
very
very
first
last
to the
end.
very end. Yeah,
I see
absolutely.
it. From your perspective, how does service learning as a teaching strategy contribute to enhancing the learning of civic behavior for students?
Right, so it's absolutely a necessary tool, in my opinion. There are many benefits of service learning in education in general. This helps guide people to understand what they want in life. This closes the gap between the education and job opportunities. It's a very valuable connection between employers and students. And in this case, using work-based learning and service learning for civic education involves young people, especially kids of this project in civic initiatives, during which they actually find out quite a lot and learn and see how the real world works and involve themselves in the programs.
Super. That seems really impactful for those who can work in these methodologies. But just by when we have been talking, one question came up to my mind, and for those who doesn't know the concept of service learning, what does it mean, service learning?
Service learning is basically learning through providing a service in a way. So service learning or work-based learning, there are two slightly different concepts, but they are pretty much the same, in which education is acquired on the spot. So you enter a program, you participate in a working or like performing a service position, and then learning from your position and from your everyday experience. So basically, you are applying your education and theoretical knowledge in everyday activities of the service or the work that you are doing.
Super. I think now is way clearer.
Yes, it is a very simplified. It is
Yes.
a very simplified term explanation. There's many studies that have provided positive outcomes of service learning or work-based learning, especially in closing the gap between education and employment. So we're taking this as a very positive opportunity for students, for young people to get included into the working market, into the job market, as well as civic initiatives and service provision for inclusion in this case.
Great. I believe that is a really good synergy to make people and young people be more complete as a whole for the demands of society and the demands of labor also.
Absolutely.
So that's great. That's truly impactful. Now, could you tell us which has been the most challenging aspect in the implementation of the project to be successful?
Well, as you mentioned, this project involves a lot of stakeholders from different backgrounds. So we had to figure out a way to make them all work together. So we're speaking about schools, universities, businesses, NGOs, CSOs, and whatnot, and to make them all work together. Also, keep in mind that this project is especially complicated because we're working with underage kids. So this comes with its own implications. To enter the classroom, to perform the piloting processes and whatnot, it is complicated to get to schools. But since this is a good initiative and it is very impactful, we managed to get the required numbers and to perform the piloting with very positive reviews for the future adaptation.
Definitely. Now that is what I wanted to talk about. We tackle a bit the complications of the project, but now, before we wrap up, can you share with us any noticeable achievements or success stories from the project?
Absolutely. So basically, us within the partnership, we saw how this is a very positive change. We had the mentors, which were the university students. We had the students, which were coming from schools. We had the initiatives that they were forming or joining, and so on. It was a very impactful on a personal level, as well as on communities. And we see that there is a need to follow up, and there is a need to involve students from even a younger age, where the level of intervention is a little different, but still quite needed.
Great. And yeah, in line with the last part of what you were mentioning now, the project is done right now, right?
Yes.
So now what? How could it be the follow-up process,
Yes,
or in your opinion?
absolutely. So there are plans for follow-up and sustainability. Keep in mind that when doing the project, when even writing the project, you have to be very mindful of what happens next, right? Because we can develop super needed and super useful resources, which are then not used because the project is over and then it's done. Our goal, short term, to make the results achieved transferable. So transferable to different sectors, different countries, different age groups, and so on. And then have those results ready to use by different stakeholders. So there is a follow-up in mind, and I think we will be doing it pretty soon. And we will consider involving either different target groups, so inclusion of people with disabilities, or younger students even from primary schools.
Great. That's wonderful to hear, Auguste. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today and providing us this really valuable insight into the Slusik project. I
Thank
hope
you.
we can hear more news about it and about the follow-up soon.
Yes, of course.
Yes, we will contact you for that.
Thank you.
From out of the box, we appreciate your expertise and dedication to fostering social inclusion through innovative education strategies. We really hope the legacy of the project continues to be so impactful as it has been so far. And to our listeners, thank you for choosing to stay with us for another episode of Out of the Box International Podcast Series. If you enjoyed today's example of good practice for social cohesion, don't forget the usual stuff. Subscribe, engage, and be part of the change. Until next time, keep thinking out of the box. This is your host, Enrique Martos, signing off for the Out of the Box International Podcast Series. Bye-bye.